Previously on Chicago Hope.
This isn't an ego thing for you, is it?
Well, there's a valid basis for the diagnosis. I actually think this woman can be helped.
I'm willing to trust your instinct if you are.
It's not like I've been dabbling in psychiatry. I worked very hard at it. Just like I worked very hard in neurosurgery for 15 years before that. Why can't I do both?
You really shouldn't blame yourself, Aaron.
Why would I blame myself? I knew what was wrong with that woman. You talked me out of trusting my instincts.
All surgeries are a gamble, Philip. The difference is who's the best. We'll take it the farthest. I pride myself on the fact that I can go farther than anybody out there.
You really think you can close a defect this big?
Yeah, I think I can try.
Well, that doesn't mean you should.
I can do it.
Do you want to do the procedure? Why don't you think before you raise people's hopes next time?
Here?
More to the left.
Here?
It moves around.
Have you had any nausea or vomiting?
I want to vomit.
Don't feel obligated.
Diane, we're pretty backed up. You almost finished here?
I could use some help.
Ask and the universe provides.
Oh, Robert, thank God. Can you rule out nappy here?
I'd be happy to.
You're in good hands.
Thanks.
There is something seriously wrong with that man.
Oh, Mr. Fenton?
No, Dr. Yates.
Oh, he's a little weird.
Shirley MacLaine is a little weird. He's missing synapses. We have a laceration of the left leg, possible tendon involvement. I'm going to irrigate the wound.
Excuse me, are you Dr. Wilkes?
Yes. Would you mind waiting in the reception area, please?
Oh, I'm not a patient. I'm Melody Kakachi. My husband told me I'd be able to recognize you because you're the only black doctor in the ER, except for Dr. Hancock, but he has weird hair.
What can I do for you?
Well, ever since my husband was made chief of surgery, our son Nathan has taken a very strong interest in this dad's profession. By the way, this is Nathan.
I believe we've met.
Right.
Actually, Nathan is my stepson, but I've known him since he was 9, so he feels like my own.
How old are you now, Nathan?
10. But let me get to the point. My dad said it would be fine for me to spend the day observing the ER. I'm writing a report on the state of healthcare in the 90s.
I'm not sure today's such a good day, Mrs. Kakachi. We're kind of swamped.
Well, he wants to see some action. Oh, gotta run. That's my trainer. See you at 5, sweetie.
No kissing.
Oh, right. He hates germs.
So, shall I suit up?
'18-year-old with an advanced infiltrative sarcoma. Name is Karen Dicker. Tumors in the medial and posterior aspect of the knee. Had radiation, chemo, didn't touch it. You need to amputate.
Amputate? I bet we can get it out of there with a wide radical excision. But we better do something quick or it's going to spread.
Here's the problem. Kevin and his family are Jehovah's Witnesses, and this thing's going to be a bloody mess. Their religion forbids blood transfusions, ruins their chance for salvation.
Well, I can get it out of there without losing much blood.
I don't know. It's like operating without a safety net. There's no margin for error.
Dennis, if something goes wrong, we just amputate. But at least give this kid a chance to keep his leg.
Fine with me, but hey, I'm not the one you gotta convince.
Yeah, okay. Look in the OR for this afternoon. I'll talk to the family.
Bipolar, admitted after a depressive crash, stopped taking his lithium.
What's his history?
This isn't the first time he's done this. Mr. Klein's been out of hospitals for 30 years, basically the same pattern. Mr. Klein? Mr. Klein, there's someone here I'd like you to meet.
Mr. Klein, I'm Dr. Shutt. How are you feeling today? Well, I can come back in a few hours. We can go someplace else, maybe talk for a little while.
You're new?
Yes. Yeah, I am.
Dr. Shutt is a very welcome addition to our staff. You'll like him, Caleb.
I like him already. He recognizes me.
I'm sorry, I really didn't mean to stare.
Stare away. This is what a legend looks like when he goes berserk.
You didn't tell me that it was Caleb Klein.
I didn't know it would mean anything.
You know who he is, right?
I know he's manic depressive who doesn't take his lithium, and he's some kind of singer.
Some guy. Do you remember the Brill Building era?
I remember Brill Cream.
No, it was an entire musical movement. Little Eva, Phil Spector and the Righteous Brothers, Carole King.
I heard of her.
Well, Caleb Klein wrote half of those songs. You don't remember hearing his stuff in the 70s?
I was listening to Led Zeppelin.
Oh, well, you don't know what you were missing.
Maybe I should take you off this case.
What? Why?
Well, if this guy means so much to you, it might strain your objectivity.
Rose, I'm a doctor before I'm a fan. Hell, I'm a doctor before I'm a person.
I sincerely hope not.
We have a big problem here. The tumor hasn't shrunk with chemo and radiation. Now we're trying to save Kevin's life.
So what do we do now, Dr. McNeil?
Well, the tumor is so overgrown, our only choice is to be radical. Either use a radical excision or amputate. Both are risky. If we use a wide excision, there could be some blood loss.
No, absolutely not. Now, we have to follow God's word. No transfusions.
What if we use Kevin's own blood?
Once the blood leaves the system, then it's tainted.
Well, we could amputate, but I don't think that's necessary.
This is very difficult for us, Dr. McNeil. We don't want our son to lose his leg, but what choice do we have? I know that it may sound strange to a non-believer, but not using blood is in the Old Testament. It's part of our faith.
Kevin, are you going to college soon?
Yeah, in January. They let me start late.
Playing sports?
I run track. I guess I can't do that anymore. It's not that big a deal.
What if we could get the tumor out without a transfusion? And you can keep your leg.
How?
We use a tourniquet to control the bleeding. I've done surgeries like this many times before, and if I'm careful, you won't lose much blood.
Dr. Hancock?
I think it's worth a shot. Dr. McNeil is the best at what he does. If anybody can do it, he can.
What if it doesn't work?
Worst case, we amputate, but I hope it won't come to that. So, Kevin? You want to keep your leg?
If it doesn't violate God's plan.
Well, it doesn't sound like it does.
Then let's do it.
Donald Malloy, 65, shortness of breath. Paramedics brought him in as a precautionary measure. He started having angina a few months ago.
You paged me for this?
I'm sorry, but we're really packed down here.
Next time you page me, make sure it's really necessary. What's the problem, Mr. Malloy?
My chest feels like a vice grip.
Are you taking any medication?
No.
Any previous heart trouble?
No.
Well, hello. Who are you?
Nathan Kakachi.
Ah, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
My father's told me all about you, Dr. Austin.
Spare me the details.
He says you're almost as talented as you think you are.
Wish I could say the same for him. All right, give him a nitro sublingual and call me if the angina comes back.
Are you going to die?
I don't think so. Unless you know something I don't.
My father is chief of surgery.
Oh, God. Nathan, let's not talk to the patients, okay?
If this man is critically ill, shouldn't he be admitted?
I'm critically ill. He's not critical. No, you're not critical. I should be admitted.
My father says this ER is about as organized as Indonesia.
No disrespect to your old man, but he's never in the ER.
Well, I expect you'll be seeing more of him now.
Dr. Wilkes, he's crashing.
He's in V-fit. Let's go. Paddles. Charge to 200 joules. Let's go.
Charge.
Clear. Again. Clear.
Clear.
He's back. What the hell happened?
I don't know. We just gave him the nitro like Dr. Austin said.
All right, well, let's admit him. Give him a loading dose of lidocaine, start a drip. Page Dr. Austin.
Got it.
Shh. Who are you?
I'm Andy. I'm Dr. Katera's assistant.
Since when?
Since she was made head of neurosurgery, and
I don't know how to put this politely, so I'm just going to say it. Even though the two of you are sharing this reception area, I work exclusively for her, so... Can't allow it.
Look, Andy, I'm her boyfriend.
I don't care if you are her personal valet. Nothing interrupts her morning review. Issues.
Well, you know what was the end for Phil Spector?
Stereo.
That's right. Spector was brilliant. I mean, nobody made my music sound the way he did.
Dr. Weber says you refuse to take your lithium. Why is that?
You ever try to write on that stuff? My brain is oatmeal. I'm not ready to quit. My career's not over.
No, I agree. I thought your last album was some of your best work.
You know how many records I sold? 15,000. They sent back more than that.
Well, music is changing.
I'm changing. It's the lithium. It completely dulls my senses. I can't live without writing, Dr. Shutt. I mean, you can watch me around the clock, you know, if you want. Just don't put me on that stuff until I write something decent.
I have to consult with my supervisor.
Dr. Weber. She's a sweet lady. But she doesn't know jack about music. You're the only one who gets it. You're the only one that can help me.
Pick up some nail scissors. How we doing with blood loss?
Still good. BP's 120/70.
We're almost out of here. Good job, Jack.
Kid's gonna need both legs. He was gonna go around knocking on doors.
Hey, Mr. Malloy, how you feeling?
I feel like I just had a heart attack.
Yeah, well, certain drugs interact badly with nitroglycerin, which is what I gave you for your chest pain. Now, you told me you weren't on any medication. Is that true?
Well, there's Viagra.
Why didn't you tell me about that?
I didn't think that was the kind of medication you meant.
Mr. Malloy, not telling me just about killed you.
Look, my wife doesn't know. We have a decent sex life now, and she thinks it's all natural.
But there's nothing to be ashamed of. You should tell her.
Why? I mean, what's the point? I don't want her to think she's with some pathetic old man who needs a pill to have sex.
Look, it's normal for sexual drive and function to deteriorate over time. She should be flattered that it matters so much to you.
But you won't tell her.
Not if you don't want me to.
No.
Okay.
Okay, release the tourniquet. Suction. I can't see a thing here. Give me some more traction. God damn, we got a bleeder. Give me a clamp.
Clamp?
Another.
Turn the suction up, please.
Lap sponge.
Lap.
Too much blood. I can't see here. Come on.
Pressure's dropping.
Clamp.
We're giving him plenty of fluids. We gotta do something.
Bobby. Come on. Clamp.
Clamp.
Another. Keep up here, people. Keep up.
He's losing too much blood.
You got no choice. Amputate. Grant, get that saw ready. Lou, tourniquet up.
Wait, give me a chance to get this under control here.
We're losing him.
Jack.
His pressure's not holding.
Transfuse him.
What?
You can't do that.
Go on, give me 2 units of packed red cells in here immediately.
This patient does not want a transfusion.
Okay, it's my OR, Dennis. If you don't like it, you should probably leave. Clamp.
You leave it. This is wrong what you're doing, Jack.
I made the call. I'll take the heat.
Damn right you will.
Will someone get me that blood before this young man dies on the table?
You did what?
I felt saving his leg and his life were more important.
More important than our beliefs? Is it more important than eternity?
You have no idea what you've done.
I told you to amputate, Dr. McNeil.
You told me to save your leg, Kevin.
My blood is tainted now.
You promised. You gave him your word.
Kevin, can you honestly tell me you're sorry your body's intact?
His body, what about his soul? It's over for me. It's all over for me now.
Right lower quadrant, fluid and inflammation, appendicitis. There may be an abscess down there, too.
What does that mean?
That means you need to have your appendix taken out.
But am I going to be okay?
You're asking them?
Nathan, why don't you go play in the ambulance bay? Hey, Keith. Mr. Fenton has an appendicitis, possible abscess. Robert caught it on the ultrasound.
Okay, I'll admit him and book an OR.
He's probably not going to make it.
He has an appendicitis.
It's the patient's anxiety that concerns me.
Well, he's anxious because the son of doom is planting the seed in his head.
Dr. Yates and I have a similar diagnostic approach. We were both born in the year of the rat.
What do you think?
I think he just needs his appendix taken out.
Thank you.
I knew this was going to happen. He works so hard. He gets no exercise. And heart trouble runs in his family.
Well, it wasn't technically a heart attack, Mrs. Malloy. It was just a reaction.
To what?
Well, we're not exactly sure, but we're keeping him overnight for observation, and assuming everything checks out, he can go home in a few days.
I'm just so afraid of losing him. It's this damn job. He worked every night last week. And his secretary called this morning, needing him to sign off on some new deal. It's always something.
Other than working too hard, is everything okay? I mean, is he eating well? Is he sleeping okay? Are you sexually active?
Well, nothing is the way it used to be. He's under so much stress. But I don't care. I just want him to stay alive. That's really all that matters.
Well, looks like the muses have returned.
No, it's total crap. Can't even rhyme anymore.
You haven't eaten anything.
I am not hungry.
Mr. Klein, you are in an untreated manic state. If you don't take care of yourself, I will put you on a lithium drip.
Let me ask you something. How would you feel if you woke up one morning and you couldn't remember anything you learned in medical school?
Relieved.
For a day, maybe. Then it would get old. Start wondering why you're taking up space on the planet. If I thought that I'd never write a decent song again, I can't imagine why I want to go on living.
Kiss, bliss, happiness. Looks like you're rhyming to me.
A fourth grader could come up with that.
Caleb, let me ask you a question. Are you in love right now?
Love? I can't even wash my own socks.
Then why are you trying to write love songs? I mean, it seems to me if you really want to be creative, you should start by telling the truth.
Oh, I see. Ballad of the Bipolar.
It's not bad.
Is this therapy? Or are you interested in a collaboration?
I'm interested in hearing how you really feel.
I feel like I'm hanging on by a thread.
Okay. Start there.
Oh, Andy, this coffee was amazing. Thank you.
I swear by the French press. Hey, listen, would now be a good time to go over your call list?
Oh, okay.
Oh, great. At 10:40, a Lila Oliver called. Wouldn't tell me what it was regarding. I hate that.
Lila's my best friend.
Still, common courtesy. At 11:04, Dr. Friedland from UCLA called to see if he would speak at the Palm Springs Medical Conference. It's not until April, but he needs to know. And last but not least, Dr. McNeil called.
Great. I'll return those later.
Really?
Well, I'm on my way somewhere.
Oh, that's right, that's right. Late lunch with Dr. McNeil. That's right. Listen, perhaps I could give Dr. Friedland an answer. He sounded anxious.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Tell him I'll do it.
Really?
Why? You think I shouldn't?
If you speak at the conference, you won't get much of a chance to relax, right? And this is going to be an incredibly stressful year for you.
You're right. I say yes way too much. I
get taken advantage of.
Oh, it's the career woman's disease.
Thanks for looking out for me, Andy.
It's not just my job, it's my pleasure.
Now, the appendectomy is a simple procedure. We start by making an incision in the lower right quadrant of the abdomen.
Oh, God.
What is it?
I'm not sure.
Look at this. He's filled with Ascaris worms.
Must have got a hold of some bad sushi.
Worms?
Nathan, I'm not sure you should be seeing this.
You kidding? It's a scientific phenomenon.
Perfect bowel. It's got a widened pulse pressure. Looks shocky. Should clean him out before he becomes septic.
I knew he was gonna die.
He is not gonna die.
Worms!
Well, I'm just hanging on by a thread, underneath a tall tree in the middle of a storm. Well, it needs work.
It's great.
Well, I feel great. I've never felt more alive. And I owe it all to you, Dr. Shutt.
Oh, I didn't really do anything.
Write what you know. It's the very first commandment. I had forgotten it. You brought it back to me. How can I ever thank you?
Mention in the liner notes. And take your lithium.
I need to play it.
Well, you just did.
No, in a public forum.
You're officially confined to the hospital until your medication is regulated.
Oh, come on, Dr. Shutt. You, of all people, should understand how important this is. You practically co-wrote the song.
No, I didn't. Anyway, my job is to treat your disorder.
What disorder? Not being able to write. That was my affliction. You fixed that. Please. I'm begging you. Help me take it the rest of the way.
Kevin? Kevin, what are you doing?
Trying to get the blood out. I'll get it out.
All right, let me get back to that.
Don't touch me.
Kevin, come on.
No, don't touch me. If I get it out, then I can go to heaven.
Would anyone like to speak in support of Dr. McNeil?
Well, I sure as hell can't. Just put me in a terrible position with my patient and his family.
Dr. McNeil violated the trust of the Dickers and exposed this hospital to a major lawsuit. I don't care if he just won Doctor of the Year. He should still be suspended.
Clearly, Jack thought he was doing what was best for the patient.
For the patient or himself?
I don't think this was an easy decision for him. He wouldn't have done it.
Lisa, you're not exactly in a position to speak objectively on this matter.
Really, Joe? And why's that?
Well, never mind.
All of you would do everything in your power to protect your patient from an unnecessary, permanently disabling procedure.
But Dr. McNeil was unethical. His responsibility was to provide the best care for his patient without violating his patient's wishes. He violated those terms.
Look, when someone's life is in my hands, am I really supposed to be concerned with the metaphysical implications of my actions? We're trained to save lives, not souls.
I agree.
Have they filed suit yet?
Yes, on advice of counsel, we're prepared to offer the Dickers a settlement sometime today. Okay, let's get Jack in here.
Am I suspended?
Were you fully and completely aware that you were violating the wishes of the patient?
Kevin Dickers said he wanted me to save his leg.
Only if the procedure was consistent with his religion.
His religion is some bizarre throwback to the Dark Ages.
The Jehovah's Witnesses decided half a century ago that blood transfusions violated God's law. The courts have supported their right to insist on that. What you think about it doesn't matter.
Look, it's easy to say what you do, but when you're staring at some kid who could lose his leg for no good medical reason, that's a different story. And I'm taking full responsibility for it. This should not be a hospital issue.
It shouldn't be, but it is. The moment you betrayed the trust of the patient, it became an issue.
Not everybody's opinion. So you all think I did the wrong thing?
We haven't made that decision yet.
You're back?
The hallmark of excellence is good follow-through, Dr. Wilkes.
You have to carry that thing around?
You kidding? This is going to make the report. I didn't expect to get a visual.
Oh, Keith, have you seen my labs from this morning? This place is so disorganized. There's paperwork from the Civil War around here. What's wrong with your neck? Oh. Never mind. Sure I'll find them. Everything's great.
Look, Dr. Grad, it's no secret that this ER is in complete disarray.
Excuse me, do you have any idea what it's like to move people in and out of here on a busy day? We save lives in this room. We are not concerned about the filing system.
Efficient files can save lives too, Dr. Wilkes.
Yeah, what the hell would you know about it?
My father says you couldn't organize a urinating party in a brewery.
What?
He says you're arrogant, hot-headed, and you don't pay attention to details.
Love to hear what he says about me.
He says you're hot. He says he understands that your people are much better at labor-intensive jobs.
My people.
He says you're completely unprepared for Y2K. He says you'll be begging him for shelter. He says...
Hey, hold it one damn minute. I wouldn't beg your father to spit in my mouth if my lungs were on fire.
Keith.
No, he's a joke. Chief of surgery? I wouldn't make your father chief of the cafeteria. I wouldn't put him in charge of the onion rings, because that's how much your father knows about running a hospital. He's a goon. He's a joke. He's a spineless, sniveling waste of corpuscles. He's a...
Nathan, it's okay. He didn't mean it.
I'm sorry. I forgot he was a kid. Nathan, I didn't mean what I said. Your dad's a great guy. Come on, man, stop crying. I'll get you another worm.
He works late every night. He doesn't have sex with his wife. He's taken Viagra so he can cheat.
Not the first time that happened.
No, it doesn't make it okay. I'm treating him for infidelity, Philip. That is not in my job description.
None of your business.
It is when a man's life is on the line. You know he nearly died trying to keep this a secret?
Weren't you just in the peer review meeting with McNeil?
Yeah.
Now, the way we conduct our lives should have no impact on how we treat our patients. Is that all you're going to eat?
Yes. It's a NASA diet. I have to experiment with self-deprivation.
I have to be honest with you, Kate. I mean, here's how I see it. A woman whose husband cheated on her years ago, unable to recover from it and projecting it onto her patients.
What? Oh, please. Believe me, I know infidelity when I see it. Okay, fine. Tommy was a cheater. Still is, actually. You know, he canceled a weekend with Sarah recently so he could go on some ski trip with his latest bimbette. Well, believe me, this is different. Maybe eat that whole hot dog.
The days keep coming like soldiers in a line. I march out to greet them. I don't know why. You ask me how I am, I say I'm fine. You can hide the truth, but you cannot hide the lies. Oh no, I'm just hanging on by a thread. Next weekend.
You think this is easy? You think it's simple to be a big star one day and a drone the next? Well, you try it. I know. You all love me when I'm singing love songs. Well, they're a crock. It's a little harder to face the truth. And the truth is, you're all pathetic. You think I'm sick? No.
Hey, Carolyn. All right, okay. Back
I
off.
pity you. Because you are pathetic. Are they pathetic? I pity you. They're pathetic, right? Right, pathetic and dead. Tell them. You're pathetic and dead.
Luckily, there was no permanent damage. He'll be released tomorrow morning.
Is that all?
Yeah, Except you might want to tell your wife the truth.
I told you. She worries.
Come on, I'm not talking about the pill. I'm talking about the squeeze on the side.
What squeeze on the side? Donald? There's somebody else?
Of course not.
Then what's she talking about?
I have no idea.
Why don't I leave you two alone to talk?
Didn't see a fracture.
Excuse me. Are you Dr. McNeil?
Yeah, why?
You're under arrest.
What? For what?
Battery against Kevin Dick. Let's go. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to an attorney.
Hey, how'd you sleep?
Oh, swell.
Drop the charges, huh?
Yeah, I guess they figured I'm not going to transfuse strangers on the street. What are you doing here?
Well, Dr. Waters thought we should start the process of getting to know one another.
Philip sent you?
In lieu of suspension, I'm your new supervisor.
You. What qualifies you to supervise me? You're a fellow.
And a jolly good one at that.
Wow. How long am I stuck with you?
Look, I know you're not happy about the situation, and I'm sorry about that. But since there's nothing we can do about it, might as well make the best of it. Think of me as a bad date.
Okay. I could really use a cup of coffee.
Oh, no. No, thanks. I don't drink coffee.
Tea, hot chocolate, nectar, whatever it is people like you drink.
Sounds great. Let's go get some nectar.
How you doing today, Mr. Malloy? Looks like we're kicking you out of here.
That's great. Now that you've destroyed my marriage.
Oh, I think you made your own contribution to that situation.
Would it interest you to hear that I have never cheated on my wife and I never will?
It wouldn't interest me. It might amuse me.
I don't know what happened to you, Dr. Austin, but somewhere
What
along the
happened to
line
me
you...
is simple. It was just a man, not unlike yourself, who slept with everything with a pulse while I was working and raising his daughter. Then he lied until I confronted him with irrefutable evidence, at which point he wept and begged my forgiveness. He's living with a Dutch flight attendant now.
Yes, that's just you. Not my story.
Oh, really? And what about all the late nights and the cute secretary and all the secrecy about Viagra?
I just work too much, that's all.
Yeah, right.
When I started to lose my sexual function, I got scared. I was sure Kathy'd start looking elsewhere. I got depressed. Doc put me on antidepressants. That only made things worse. A friend of mine gave me some of his Viagra. It was a godsend. I felt like I could be a whole man again.
And what about the secrecy?
Yeah, my doctor advised me against taking it. And a history of heart disease in my family. He said it wouldn't be safe. Kathy knows that. She already worries herself sick about me. She'd completely come apart if she knew this. Dr. Austin, I don't want to lose her.
You'd really be willing to risk your life to have sex?
Wouldn't you?
Dr. Shutt, may I have a word with you, please? So even after I told you not to, you signed out a patient who had no business being away from this ward, took him to a club, let him play a few songs, and then watched him start a fight.
In some cultures, that would be considered idiotic.
On a scale of screw-ups, yeah, I'd say it's pretty high.
You were right. I was too close to it. My judgment was clouded by my enthusiasm.
Well, I usually have the opposite problems with doctors.
Well, he's medicated now. As soon as he calms down, we can begin intensive therapy.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Why not?
You're off the case.
Oh.
You're still a resident, Aaron. You're still learning. Here's a good thing to remember for future reference. Sometimes your attending knows more than you do.
Mr. and Mrs. Malloy, oh, I am so glad I caught you. Listen, I feel a little, I guess what I'm trying to say is I am so sorry.
There's no need to apologize, Dr. Austin. Donald explained the whole situation to me, the Viagra and everything.
Well, I don't usually interfere in the private lives of my patients, but I guess when you said you weren't having sex, and yet I knew you were taking the...
I didn't say we weren't having sex. I said it's not like it used to be. We're down to twice a week.
Oh, I see.
I'm not going to take that chance again.
No, I care more about him than I do about
Honey,
his...
She gets the point. Why don't we get out of here, okay? Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, one more thing. Could I have the pills, please?
What pills?
The rest of the Viagra.
Donald?
Bye-bye.
Oh, Dr. McNeil. Have a good evening. Oh, and Dr. Katera, she's trying to wind down, so...
Keep that in mind. You like the blues? I like bouncing.
If my music is annoying, I'll turn it down.
It's not the music that's bothering me.
What is it?
I would have stuck up for you.
How do you know what I said to that committee? I stuck up for you, Jack, but what you did was wrong. I don't think you realize what a serious violation it was.
What that family believes violates everything I was trained to do as a doctor.
Maybe, but we can't force our views on the people we're trying to help.
Intellectually, I know that, Lisa. I saved that kid's leg. I'm not sorry. I never will be.
I know. You need to find a way to make this right, Jack.
Tell me something, Philip. Is an erection worth dying for? Well, I was just wondering, is that something a normal man would risk his life for?
I'm not sure I've ever been in that situation.
Look, I like sex as much as the next guy. Or do I? I mean, lately I'm wondering. See, I haven't been sexually active for quite a while now, and frankly, I don't really miss it. I mean, sure, it was great when it was happening, but it's not like I lay awake at night thinking about it, you know. On the other hand, maybe something is wrong with me. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm undersexed. Or maybe I just, I don't know. I've grown tired of it over the years. Hell, I started doing it when I was 16.
Kate.
What?
I really, really don't want to have this conversation.
Oh. Okay.
Good news. I got rid of all the cancer. You cannot just give up, Kevin.
Do you have any faith, Dr. McNeil?
I'm not a big fan of organized religion.
I've spent my whole life in service to God. Thought one day I might even have a calling. That's all over now. Now I'll never see him face to face. My parents.
Kevin, when the Bible was written, there was no such thing as a blood transfusion. How can it specifically advise against it?
The Bible's a living document. When it says that we are to keep abstaining from blood, it's because God knew such a day was coming.
And you believe in a God that would reject you for this? It wasn't even your choice.
I wanted to keep it. I chose it over God's will. If thy leg offends, cut it off. Many are called, few are chosen.
What does that have to do with you going to college? Walking to your classes? Running track if you want? Getting on with your life?
You don't understand. A few more years of this life is nothing compared to eternal life. That's what you cost me.
Kevin, I was just trying to help you.
I need you to forgive me.
I'm just hanging on by a thread, by a thread, hurtling toward the windshield at 100 miles an hour. It's 7 wonders I'm not dead, but I'm not dead. Plant something in dirt. One day